do you guys want to walk us through a little bit of what the game is about? I did a video spotlight on it about a week ago and posted my impressions. I know you guys have been working hard on patches and making the game better. So, to get the ball rolling then, for people who are just tuning in who haven't heard of this game before, could you tell us a little bit about what Conflicts is and what makes it so interesting?
Well, it's a physics-based RTS set in an alternate, history of, or a futuristic history of European Renaissance. So it's pretty interesting. It's unique in a way because of the physics. And I'm kind of getting lost here. You wanna?
It's about using. It's about flicking ships in space and using your environment to overcome your enemies. So unlike traditional RTSs where when you have a powerful unit, it will usually kill all the other weaker units. In conflicts, if you use the environment wisely, a single patrol ship can destroy a whole fleet just by bumping into a frigate that's tractor that use a tractor beam to link the whole fleet, and then the whole fleet will just crash on a planet. So this enables a lot of turnarounds, and it makes a lot of chaotic and frantic gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest difference between there's a lot of similarities between Conflicts and other RTSs. I mean, you still have the resources, you still have unit creations, you're still fighting over resources and territory and stuff like that. But the biggest difference is that it's the whole mentality and the whole strategy of it is completely different compared to other RTSs.
Cool. Before we get more in depth, for you guys watching the Twitch stream right now, is it properly displaying? I just want to make sure everyone can see it. Let's see. 1 second. Yeah, it looks like it's coming good on my end. Okay. Alright, so I guess the next question, and one thing I definitely want to touch on, is the very interesting art style you guys came up with for the game. How did you decide on using this still image type aesthetic for the game?
Oh, it's inspired from Renaissance. So everything in the game has an old medieval Renaissance kind of look. We wanted to do something different, and so we wanted to explore how people were making art at the time, and we wanted to have that in our game because at first glance it looks like a very fanciful setting and kind of city. It has kind of city premises, but when you go deeper, in fact, you'll see that the game is inspired by history. In this main menu, you see here, like this menu is in fact it's inspired from a well-known
it's a painting, eh?
Yeah, a well-known painting, Liberté guidant le peuple. So it's everything is based on it's like a transposition of the French Revolution, but in space, in fact. And we have all the factions from Europe instead, in a very it's different from other space game where you have always aliens. Different kinds of aliens. In our game, there's no aliens. You have the people from Earth, the different empires from Earth. So you have Greater Britain, you have the Celestial Empire, you have the Sacred Alliance, and you have the Sublime Gate. And all those factions are made up of humans. And then you have those mutated chickens that are the Chikrathi. But those chickens are not aliens. They were created by the humans themselves because in our game the egg yolk of chicken is used to produce metamatter, which is something very powerful, a bit like the spice in Dune, if you want to make a parallel. And so at some point the chickens come into contact with this metamatter, and they mutate. But when they mutate, they become very intelligent. In fact, they become more intelligent than the humans. And what differentiates them from the humans is that they are not selfish. They think about the group and not only about themselves. And so they want to make a revolution to overthrow the dictators, the human dictators. Mm-hmm. And so the story of Conflicts is the story of 4 human heroes who decide to rebel against their own empire and to join the cause of the Chicrati. So, for example, if you just played the four first mission of the campaign, you only played with Wilbur and the Greater Britain. But then, after that, you have 4 missions with Leon and the Musketeers, the Space Musketeers. And then you have 4 missions with Octavio and Antonio, the Chronomancer monks. And then you have also Kane and Khan, which are from the Sublime Gate. They are clones. And all of them, they revolt and they join the Chicrati revolution. So that's about it. Yeah. Cool. So because of that, like all this history, all of this is a transposition of the real history, and we wanted to reflect that in our art style. So this is why we have that style.
Not to mention all the arts and all the music in the game were all created by the same person. Like our art director is pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so then we're going to get started then. I know you guys just released a patch. I updated the game before we started the Twitch stream. So we'll go over, I guess, some of the things you guys have recently added in. So what's the best place to probably start doing that?
Well, head over to the solo campaign.
Okay.
And you can start the mission that you're on. So you said you're on the 4th mission, yeah. So you can start the 32nd Wife of the Emperor.
Okay. And the stills in this game, again, look very unique. It really gives the game a really great aesthetic to it.
Thanks.
Alright, so I think we'll just get to it.
Yeah, sure.
You can just skip.
Alright.
Okay, so now the biggest feature that we added was the tactical mode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically, some of the comments we got was that it's a little hard to not micromanage, but it's a little hard to keep track of different fronts, and it's very fast and a little hectic. I mean, it's physics, right? So of course it's going to be a bit hectic. But now if you hit enter, just escape past this, so you skip the dialogue.
Okay.
Okay. Now if you hit enter, it pauses the game and goes into tactical mode. Now you're able to look about the battlefield. And you're able to click on ships. You can look at abilities, read up on stuff. You see what's going on all over the map, and you're able to come up with a good strategy at any point in time in the single-player mode. Now, of course, this isn't for competitive games, because you can't obviously pause the game with other people online. But in single-player mode, it should be a really, really good feature.
Yeah, it enables you to learn the strategy and take your time to think of a good strategy very calmly.
Which is what a lot of people in strategy games kind of like to do.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing I think Jan was mentioning to me in email about one of the complaints that I had was it was hard to tell when you're looking at from this angle which ships have moved, what ships are ready. And I think he said that if you zoom in, you can actually see the graphic effect to tell you if a ship is ready.
If you look at the back of the ship, you'll see that there's like a little fire coming out of it. That means their engines are ready. But what we also added was now there's a pop-up overlay when you hover over a ship. So like if you leave your mouse over, that didn't used to be there before. So now it says Corvette, or it tells you what type of ship it is, and it says if it's ready or if it's not ready, if it's an enemy ship, if it's an ally ship.
Okay.
So that's one of the other features that we added also. And that if you click on one of your ships, like click on the flagship.
Okay.
And now if you go over your actions, it'll also pop up without having to click on it what that action is. So now you can see what ship you're making, what action you want to use, and it gives a lot more visceral like feedback right away.
All right, and I can see it also tells you the actual command. So you can see where it says flick.
Yeah, and if you go to the last one, the special ability, it'll say like auto action instead of double click. Well, it says double click. It's an auto action. But
You activate it by double clicking on it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And the last feature that we added, if you press enter again to resume control. Now, if you go to like look over your ship, now notice the top left. The top left of the screen, on the edge of the screen. Well, there is there was little icons telling you that there was combat going on. Now
Okay.
everything's kind of done, but
Okay. I'm sure.
there's sorry.
I'm sure combat will start again in a few
Oh
seconds.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, the way it works is we always had little icons on the edge of the screen telling you that there was combat going on, but there wasn't an easy way to let a person like get a person there. So now if you press C when combat's going on somewhere else that you're not viewing, it'll bring you directly to the action so you can do something about it.
So now move away the camera, so because now there's a fight, okay? So you'll see there's a small icon, a conflict icon here. If you click on it, it will zoom. But also if you press C, it will center your camera on the conflict that's going on.
Okay.
So if you want to keep track of different fronts going at once, you just have to press the C key, and it will cycle through all the ships that are attacked right now. And also, you always were able to just click on the conflict icon. And when you see a small explosion icon at the edge of the screen, you can just click on it, and it will zoom. It will just center the camera on the conflict. This one is the flagship icon. Yeah. It's a little bit different. Like any time in the game when your flagship is not in the view frustrum, you'll see this is a little hexagon. You can click on it, and also it will show how many hit points your flagship has. This was there before.
It was hard. People didn't notice it. They were kind of small. So we're working on improving that, which is what the C key is for, right?
Yeah.
So if you, for example, if you start another conflict elsewhere, and you move the camera at some other place, let's say move the Corvette close to the green ship you see, the torpedo ship you see close to the blue nebulae, and then move away the camera.
Okay.
Okay, move away.
Now if you hit C,
hit C now. Hit the C button,
and then
it will center on
Yeah.
your fight.
All right.
If you click C again, it will go on the other.
Yeah, so it'll basically cycle through all the fights. So aside from those three main features, we also added a bunch of music too, which are actually they're all pretty awesome.
We also made modifications to many missions. Mission 1 to 7 were changed quite a lot, and a lot of performance tweak, AI tweaks. We actually made the hard mode even harder for some people who asked that in the multiplayer mode.
Yeah, we didn't adjust the difficulty in the single player campaign aside from the map designs, but we did change the AI in the multiplayer. Yeah.
Okay.
Here you can,
So that's basically demonstrated. That explains the basic features of the new patch. If you want to try a 2v2 match, we can do that now if you want.
Yeah, sure. One question I just want to ask regarding the UI that I was wondering. Right down here, you can see the 4 little circles. What do these do next to like the ship's name? Like, do they mean anything?
Actually, yeah. Well, there's like an overlay at the when you play the first mission. It does an overview of all the UI elements, but those basically are they're the planets.
You will lose the game.
Yeah, you just
okay.
flew into a red nebula, but they're planets, basically. So if you click on one of them, it'll zoom you to a planet, and red ones tell you that they're like enemies. Yellow ones tell you that they're wards.
Oop.
Yeah.
All right. Let me. That was weird. I made the sound lower to avoid that. Let me double check, make sure everything. Yep, everything is low. I guess the explosions must be special.
Well, all our sound is off, so we actually didn't hear how loud it was.
All right. Let me see. So I think we'll go into the game now. So I think I will probably turn off the screen share.
Sure.
1 second. Let me see if I can. There we go. Stop sharing screen. All right. And you guys can still see the Twitch stream, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, what would be the quickest way of setting up the multiplayer? Oh, actually, before we do that, I just want to ask you guys. I know you guys can't see it directly live right now, but I'm on the screen that shows the power progression for the online multiplayer. This is another really interesting part of the game. I just wanted to get your guys' comments on this because we normally don't see too many RTS games feature like an achievement or a metagame progression.
Yeah.
And I'll accept your friend request after we're done talking about this, so just so people can get the idea.
Yeah, for sure. So he was talking about the achievements. What was the question again? I think a couple of them missed it.
What was like the decision to tie multiplayer and basically a metagame progression to your achievement system?
Well, because like not many games actually do that, and we wanted to reward players that played the game competitively. Now the thing is, there were comments saying that it was like, well, obviously some people aren't a huge fans of like giving people bonuses like this, but it didn't make much sense to me because a lot of games reward players for playing longer. I mean, if you're playing Call of Duty online, you play longer, you're going to get more perks, you're going to get more guns that are stronger than the ones that you start off at the beginning, right? Now, the whole point was for every achievement you get, we were going to add a matchmaking system into the competitive multiplayer. So the more achievements you get, you're gonna queue or you're gonna match up with other people that also have that same level of achievements. So you're never gonna really be outmanned by someone that has achievements. And the other thing was that none of these are like game-breaking achievements. None of them will counterbalance any of the game. If you have all the achievements or if you don't, it's not going to win you the game. Like your skill at the game will win you the game.
Yeah.
And that's another thing people have to realize. And that the last thing was that the achievements, none of them are made in a way so that you have to play in some sort of weird way to get them. If you play the game as a certain faction, you will work towards getting these achievements. So it's not like you have to do anything outrageous or exotic to win them. You just play the game and you will unlock them. So it's very simple.
Yeah. And this is one of the things I talked about in my spotlight. Whenever we look at competitive games, especially online multiplayer fighting games, RTSs, we've seen that competitive gamers are very leery of achievement-based systems like this. But you are right that a game like Call of Duty does have a metagame progression. And it's definitely one of those interesting topics. We could probably spend some time talking about that, but I'm sure we should probably get to the game. So
for sure.
Let me accept this. And while we're at the lobby screen, one other thing if you guys wouldn't mind going over is, what's like the general difference between the 4 different factions for people watching?
Right. The 4 different factions, so you got the Greater Britain. Oh, no. Because it automatically goes in because of a timer thing.
Yeah, when everybody's ready,
when everyone's
there,
in
after a couple of seconds, it starts the game.
Yeah, so we got the Greater Britain. A lot of their abilities have to do with, they have like shields, extra shields. They have repulsion torpedo, repulsion torpedoes, like Britannium spikes. They got a lot of stuff. Stealth. For instance, that's the team.
Everything is based on because they use metamatter to transform the way matter is. So they have different kind of material like stealthonium or chameleonium or stuff like that. Then you have the Celestial Empire. Everything is based on electricity or on perfumes or essence because they use metamatter to influence the mind. So and they also are very keen to use metamatter to produce different sort of electric things. And then you've got the Sacred Alliance,
which is the team you are, yeah.
Yeah, Sacred Alliance uses a lot of teleportation, time travel.
Yeah, they have chronomancer monks, and they like to control the flow of time and space. So you have a lot of teleportation. You can teleport units. You can teleport your own units, enemy units. You can
move through planets.
Yeah, you can move through planets. You can increase the speed at which you harvest metamatter. You can slow down time. All kinds of different stuff.
And then the Sublime Gate is based on cloning, so they can multiply themselves, and they're also based on very powerful cannons and firepower.
Yeah.
So that's basically the four different themes. But every ship in the game has a special ability that you can use.
Now, so the way the Conflicts is similar to like other RTSs like StarCraft or like Grey Goo, stuff like that. Well, first off, you have exactly what you're doing right now. You're colonizing a planet. So it's a lot of it's positioning. It's fighting for territory, but in a sense, like where other RTSs kind of have like early game, late game sort of like metas. In Conflicts, it all kind of starts. It's always you're kind of always in this one little phase where it's just one gigantic fight for territory and control of planets. Since like the maps aren't massive, there's no fog of war. You don't have to look for anyone.
Now, what we're playing right now, is this a co-op, or are you doing like 2-on-2? Is this just free-for-all?
We're doing 2-on-2.
Okay.
So you're with me, I'm on the bottom left, and you're on the top left, so we have to fight the two guys on the right.
Okay.
Like if you go over on one of my ships, like you'll see that it says my name and then it says Allied over it.
Okay.
So now bring some henships to the middle planet over here, the one that I have colonized. Now, if you see the middle of this planet, this map actually has two black holes. So you're gonna kind of want to avoid those because they'll suck up your ship and destroy it. But there's all kinds of different elements in the map that. Another main feature of our game is that you really have to use the environment to your advantage. Since everything is physics-based, so you have like asteroids that you can use torpedoes to launch into. So like right now someone's taking over one of our planets. So what I can do is try and shoot this asteroid at it. But it looks like I missed. See it coming towards you guys now? Right into the planet. Take that core. That's Jan's Corvette. Okay, I'm gonna come over there and try and help you out. So now, actually, if you check over the middle planet over there, I've got a destroyer, and I'm gonna use this repulsion torpedo. Head down a bit.
Okay. I'm getting hit here. Now, if you lose your henship, you're not able to gather resources, right? Even if you own the planet?
Well, you still own the planet. It still gives you like a bonus to your maximum metamatter, but you lose the bonus of extra metamatter because you generate metamatter no matter what from your flagship, but it's kind of at a moderate rate. So to increase that rate, you have to colonize planets and have henships there to harvest it. But another thing is every single time a ship blows up, it also like that has orphaned metamatter in space that you can pick up.
Okay. Now, in terms of the general flow or strategy of a Conflicts match, should you be just generally building ships like as frequently as you can, or is it better to save your meta for like special effects and whatnot?
Well, that all depends on the type of strategy you want to employ. Some good strategies is to try and get as good of position as you can with your flagship near planets to try and colonize them and then create ships. But you never want to create too many of them because if you start creating too many, then you're not going to have enough metamatter to move them, right? So you need to have a good balance of. It's a lot of management with your resources. Too many ships, you can't move them, like a lot of them, all at the same time, unless you use a frigate, of course. But then you start using special abilities. Like you want to moderate how many ships you have, but at the same time, like you know.
Mm-hmm.
Corvette, teleport.
Okay, here, you want to try something? Take your Corvette,
Mm-hmm.
the one that's right next to that hen ship right there.
Yeah.
And there's a special ability you can use to teleport your enemies. Now, turn on that ability and then ram your ship into the destroyers on the right.
Okay.
So actually, that ability is incredibly useful. And see, look, you just knocked him into the red nebula also. So that's really good.
Oop.
Well, see right there, he's got like the Celestial Empire's frigate has this like celestial wind that blows your units away.
Uh, there we go. Come on, get in there.
Yeah, so try and colonize that middle planet again.
Yeah,
Right now we don't have
paralyzed him with the
Paralyze them? Yeah. I'm gonna come by and try and help you.
There we go. Oh, I set my own ship there. Okay, let's see.
So try and ram his ship with your Corvette. Well, never mind, the Corvette's dead.
Alright, there's mine. Okay, he's doing that. How am I doing here? Let's see. So as we said, the red nebula, that does damage. What does the blue one do that we saw in the previous one?
The blue one is not in this map, but the blue one, they're actually garbage clusters. It's filled with like chicken waste and stuff like that from the mass production of metamatter.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta leave it somewhere, right? It's almost acts like a fog of war. So it's a place where you can hide. You can put your flagship in there and make a secret base with many ships that no one can see unless they actually come into the nebula or the garbage cluster. I mean.
Okay.
So it works as a hiding place, more or less. But like we said, it's not exactly in this map. The red nebula, of course, is like a barrier. You can't. It slows you down. You can't get out of it, or you can't get through it. You'll get stuck in it. If you get pushed into it and your ship has like its engines are ready, then you'll be able to escape. But you have to do it quick, or else your ship will die. It's another thing about using your environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're about to get that middle planet now, so that's really good. So now if you look at your metamatter reserve, it just increased by 2. So you'll be able to, and you'll actually get a lot more metamatter now too. Like the small planets don't give you that much of a boost, but the medium planets really do give you a lot.
Alright.
That was good.
Oh, wait. Oh, that was a good move.
Teleport, yeah. That's a good move.
Get out of there. Alright, let's see. Can almost build a battleship.
Yeah, for the battleship, you'll need another planet.
Okay. Ah, damn.
Yeah, see right there, he's got a battleship on the right side. So I'm going to try and get rid of it by bumping it into the nebula.
Nice. Oh.
Oh, he just got out of it. Let's follow him.
All right.
Oh, okay, so he just created a black hole, but he kind of missed. It was a little too far.
Yeah.
Alright, so the battleship is actually like a Mogul flagship. It's able to create patrol ships, torpedo ships, and corvettes. So we gotta kind of stop him from doing that. Let's both head over there. See, like, the torpedo ship is able to teleport. Yours should be able to do the exact same thing, actually.
Okay. There we go. Now, I can't use my Corvette to teleport a flagship, right?
No. Well, you used to be able to, but we had to nerf that. It was a little too strong.
Yeah, I could say that. Alright. Okay. Alright. And you can recover the health of your ships in the game.
In the Sublime Gate, their frigate is actually able to heal other units.
Okay.
But other than that, no. But the thing is, so in other RTSs, when you get some big units, you're very, like, you want to save them. They're like your precious. You don't want them to get destroyed. They're really powerful, and you spent a lot of resources and a lot of time to create them, right? In Conflicts, you get metamatter really fast. The cooldowns aren't too long to create ships. You're going to get a lot of these ships. They're a lot more expendable than any other RTS, so you don't have to worry too much about destroying things. So the health doesn't regenerate. The ships die pretty fast. The whole game is supposed to, it's like, we wanted it to be like quick pick up and play. Like, the matches shouldn't last more than like 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes, depending on like how long, how many victory points you have set up. So there's going to be a lot of back and forth. There's an elastic band in place, so to give people that are in the lower, like a lower level. So like if you're in first place and the other guy's in fourth place, in other RTSs you might lose a match in like a minute or two because you're already so far behind the other player with your resources. Maybe you're not as good as the other guy. In Conflicts, it's a lot of chaos, right? And with that, there's a lot of back and forth. There's no one's out of a match ever. Like, you're always able to come back.
Yep. So we got some ships nearby.
See, now you lost all the hen ships on the planet, so you should probably add them back. You're gonna the amount of metamatter you're getting is stunted now. I missed. Another cool thing with the environment is these moons. They're actually like cheese moons, and they kind of work like pinball machines. Like, you're able to really knock someone like really far away. Like, it just like rebounds them really bad, really fast. That was a little luck, a little skill.
Come on, get in there. Ugh.
What happened?
I missed like the wormhole by like an inch. Alright, we need to get some ships going. Alright. And can you have more than one hen ship over a planet? Will that do anything toward it?
It will, but only when you're capturing it and or trying to take it over.
Okay.
If you have more than one hen ship over the same planet while you already own it, it does nothing other than makes it harder to take from by another player.
Okay.
So think of it more like you know, in like any sort of conquest mode in Battlefield. When you're trying to take over a point, if you have four guys, it'll go by faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have four hen ships, you'll capture the planet faster. To take it over, if you have an even number of people, then they just cancel each other out and nothing happens. So you always have to have an advantage. As far as how much resources you are harvesting, that doesn't change. Like you won't gain more resources by having more ships. So it's not like in Warcraft or Starcraft. If you have a lot of peons, it'll sorry, I'm playing at the same time. I'm losing my words. Oh, I just died. I have to respawn. Oh, we're in second place now, so I'm going to pick up the slack.
Okay.
So when you die, you're able to respawn after about 10 seconds, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you're allowed to respawn anywhere well, not anywhere you want, though there's a grid that pops up. There's like an algorithm. You can't be too close to a planet. You can't be too close to an enemy flagship. There's a few things that you can and can't do when you respawn, but for the most part, it's pretty flexible. All right, so I just killed one of their flagships, and we're back in the lead. Now, the way you gain points, victory points in conflicts is mainly with killing units. Okay, so you get some from colonizing planets, mainly from the amount of metamatter that you're collecting. Every time you get a piece of metamatter, you gain some victory points. Destroying units, bigger units will yield you more points than smaller units, and the most is killing a flagship. So as you damage a flagship, you'll get points, and killing it will give you a big bonus also. So if you're playing like 4 people against each other, like 1v1, v1, v1, someone could come in and steal a kill and get the bonus points. He won't get all the points because he didn't damage the flagship throughout the process, but he'll get a big chunk of it just for getting the kill.
Alright. Jan's flagship is really close.
Yeah, that's what I did to him. But now I'm on the other side of the map, so I'm gonna have to use some frigates to cover a lot of space. You know how the frigates work, right? They kind of work. They're able to like tow. They're like tugboats. They're able to tow other ships, and since they move so much further, it's a lot more cost-effective and efficient to move multiple ships with a frigate than by themselves. Another cool thing you can do is try to go through the you can try and go through the planet, like the gravitational pull of the planet. If you have a really fast ship, you can actually go through it and come out the other side. But if you go too slow, you'll just fall into the planet. Now, if we're able to push Yan's flagship enough, he'll actually fall into that black hole and die. So let's try and ram him a bit.
Come on.
trapped. I'm gonna try and come from behind.
So what's the best way to push a
Flagship?
Yeah.
Try and use a frigate. The frigates have a high speed rate and a pretty decent weight, so they're actually...
Oh.
We won. I guess you're damaging the flagship, right?
No, just killing ships.
Oh, just killing ships, okay.
Yeah. Cool.
So now you'll see the battle summary. So you have how many victory points you gain from a competitive match. You'll have your progression with all your achievements.
Mm-hmm.
And you can even go into the rest of your achievements, or you can look at the rankings with the leaderboard.
Oh, we have a question in Twitch. We were just doing multiplayer 2-on-2. Was this friendly or competitive?
It was competitive. That's why
Okay.
you have the glory, your glory points is your ranking basically. But it reset recently in September. It resets every month.
So
Okay.
the main difference between competitive and friendly is that in competitive mode you gain glory points after each match, and even if you end up third, for example, you still get some glory, and then you're ranked in a leaderboard.
Yes.
And also you can't choose your map when you're in a competitive mode, and you can't choose your opponents. And when you're in a friendly mode, you can also choose the amount of victory points you need to win the game. You can choose the map, you can invite all your friends, you can decide all the teams you want to make. You can make 3 against 1, for example. If someone is really good and the 3 other are really bad, you can do that.
Yeah, and with the glory points, you get a rank. So if you click on the ranking there, you should see your name in the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Ranking button.
All right. There is a 15. I think there's like a 10, 15 second delay in Twitch, but I did just click
Yeah.
it. So.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And you said that the leaderboard is month by month, but do your progression, like your actual achievements, do they stay persistent with you? Like, I will need to
Yeah.
unlock. Okay.
They'll always stay with you. It's just the rankings that change. So as you progress through the achievements, you'll unlock them and you'll keep them forever.
Cool. All right. So we'll come out here. Okay, let me see. We have been recording for about 43 minutes now. Do you guys have... I guess do we have time for one more? Or do you guys have to get going?
No, we can play another game.
Alright.
Yeah.
I think that should be enough then for the video. We'll do one more. That should probably take us to maybe about an hour, 20 hour, 30. I think that should probably be a good point to stop. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else to talk about. I guess here's the question for you. As we said at the beginning of the video, you guys literally just released the patch for Conflicks right before we started streaming.
Yeah.
What kind of timeline or timetable are you guys aiming for in terms of patches to the game as you go through early access?
Well, we plan to release a patch in each 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, and we plan to stay in early access between 1 month and a half and 2 months, maybe more. Will depend on the community, what people ask. We really want to take our time. This is a work of love.
Mm-hmm.
And we really want to take our time to make it the best game it can be, and we won't let the community down. And if people have feedback or whatever, like some of the things we just added in the game were inspired by your feedback, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really listening to people, and we really have a lot of fun. But now we need to show how great the game can be, because it's so different that people don't get it at the beginning.
Yeah.
But if you looked at how we play here in the office, like the skill level is immense. Like it has nothing. It's nothing compared to what we just. It was a good game, but it was really slow and everything. But when you play with experienced player, it really can evolve and reach another level. And so that's what we want to communicate to people, so that people understand that it's not just like StarCraft with more micromanagement. In fact, it's a different kind of RTS. It's an RTS that's based on something completely different that enables you to make more strategies that are not possible.
Or completely different strategies. I mean, you have to kind of throw everything you know about RTSs out the window. I mean, not everything. It's, like I said, they're still colonizing the planet. There's still resource management, unit creation, stuff like that. But all the strategies, the environment, all of that you have to take into account and kind of play it completely different to another RTS.
Yeah,
like it is not the same.
I would say one thing.
Yeah.
I would say one thing that I noticed while playing our multiplayer match is that a lot of the more micro-intensive design that you see in games like StarCraft and other RTS games, where it's about how quickly you can maneuver, how quickly you can input commands, a lot of that stuff is really downplayed in Conflicts because you have to spend a lot more time managing your ship. As we've seen, you have to properly aim it or things can go horribly wrong.
There's also cooldowns too, right?
Yeah. And it definitely feels a lot, as you said, it really does feel a lot different compared to a lot of real-time strategy games. On previous podcasts where I've spoken with friends and other designers who do strategy games, I've said that I'm just not really good at micro-heavy games anymore, just because of the amount of hand dexterity you need to play that game, especially at the competitive level. But with something like Conflicts, the playing field has been, I think, leveled a little bit more compared to other games due to the kind of design, the flick-based motion you guys are aiming for.
Yeah, so there's a bit like there's definitely skill involved that you need in order to excel, but there's still a lot of like strategic depth that you have to employ as well. So even like veterans of RTS is like they can use all that strategic knowledge, and but then they have to add a layer of skill on top of that to be successful, right?
And it's less intellectual also, because you can have the best strategy ever, but if you miss a shot, or if if your opponent is clever and just use a ship to bump you to some place, your strategy can be compromised, and you have to adapt. It's not about having a huge strategy and making it happen. It's about adapting, constantly adapting. So it's different.
Yeah. I really did like the teleportation power. Was I playing as a Sublime Gate in mine?
You were the Sacred Alliance.
Sacred Alliance. Yeah, I really like that. It really, as you said, it really lends itself differently. I love being able to like sneak that ship around. I was like trying to knock those hen ships like somewhere else to try to knock out your resource line.
Really useful to use the patrol ship to bump hen ships on planet with the Sacred Alliance. You just teleport. You pass through the planet just behind your enemy's hen ship, and then you bump it, and it will crash in the planet. Very effective.
All right, I got your friend invite. 1 second. There we go. And let me see. So I was playing as.
You were the Sacred Alliance last time, yeah.
Okay, so I will play as. Maybe I will go as Sublime Gate this time, just to see the difference.
Okay. Yeah, I think you can show them the powers.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Alright. Here we come.
Alright, so this is a different map. There's platforms in this map that weren't in the other one. Now, the resupply platforms, or resupply gates, they're stations. They're resupply stations. If you land on them, it instantly refreshes all your cooldown for that ship, and you're able to actually move again without costing anything. So you really want to use these to your advantage. Anytime you can.
Yeah, you can move your flagship on these too.
Yeah, and it'll be another free move too.
You can move your flagship very close to a planet, but you have to aim very carefully so that you land on top. And this way, you can really colonize the planet more efficiently.
And a lot faster, yeah. So now we're on opposite corners now. So I'm the bottom right, you're the top left.
Okay. Huh. Let me see. Oh, there you are. I guess one little complaint or one little feedback. it's kind of hard to see, like, because I wasn't paying attention to the live screen. It's hard to see like who's my partner is just looking at the UI. Is there some indicator that I'm not seeing that says?
Well, right now, like there's the mouse over, so if you go over the
Okay.
flagships, it'll say enemy or allied.
Any
Um,
ships.
on any ship too. You don't have to just go on the flagship.
Okay.
So if you don't know, let's say you don't know if if purple is with or against, you just have to hover your mouse over one of the purple ship, and you will see that it's an enemy.
Okay.
So yeah, is it good enough for you? Or
Well, right. We could probably do a better job at the moment, and we'll definitely look at that. But that's one of the things that we added in this patch to make it a little bit easier for people to see who they're actually with.
Okay.
I shot an asteroid and I just missed him.
Now, in terms of shooting asteroids, oh, okay, so you can use torpedoes.
Yeah, you use torpedoes to hit asteroids.
Okay.
And you can actually play, like, we've played games of like ping pong in the office. It's pretty hard. You get a big asteroid and try and fling it back and forth.
you can also use different stuff like if you play the Sublime Gates, you've got a destroyer with a huge cannon, and you can use this cannon to just
Snipe.
Yeah, you can snipe people.
Yeah, but you can also fling asteroids at people's face.
Yeah. And it has like a really big knockback too.
All right. There we go. Oh boy. All right. In terms of basic strategy of playing Conflicts multiplayer, do you guys generally build like hen ships first to try to secure early planets, or do you build? Okay.
You really want to get, like, the early planets are pretty key. Without that extra metamatter, like, you get pretty stunted. So you want to fight, like, the main combat in Conflicts would be conflicting planets.
But
So
then sometimes the best way to have planets early on is to move your flagship using the resupply stations
yeah, to get
close
them.
to a planet. Like if you see the purple one, look at your minimap, you'll see that my purple ship is close to a planet, the red ship is close to a planet, but your ship, the blue one, is quite far away from any planet. So if you took some time to move your flagship on the platforms, on the resupply stations,
Yeah, you save a lot of
in front
time.
of you would save a lot of time and be way more efficient at creating hen ships to just capture a small planet. But
Yeah.
still, you're not attacked so much. So right now,
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
not in trouble.
When you're-
so that's okay.
When you're further away, you're in a more safe zone, I guess. Being close to a planet brings you right next to the combat, so your ships get there faster, but you're also in harm's way, right?
I also see that you have a hen ship that's in midway between your flagship and the other planet called Brossard. And so you can just use, I would recommend you to use a frigate and tow this flagship. Now it's almost there now, so it's a bit late, but it would have been faster if you just created a frigate at the beginning and then you towed the
hen ship.
Okay.
and then you moved both ship in one flick. You could have reached the small planet. So it would really make a difference, because this way, in something like 20 seconds, you would have had 2 planets at your command, and then it would give you a lot of metamatter that you could have used to create even more ships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also, when you control planets, it increases your metamatter reserves, and then it enables you to create even bigger ships like destroyers or battleships.
Now, what you can try and use that destroyer that you have there, and use its special ability. You can snipe that enemy destroyer right there at the top.
Oh,
Just missed. Oh, but you still hit another one.
Ah, you hit the green one.
You can try using the other one if you want.
I think I already used that one. Yeah.
Oh, you used that one already?
Yeah.
I think the cooldown's like 2 or 3 minutes, so it should be back up soon. Now, if you want, try bring some hen ships to the middle planet over here, and grab it from me, and you'll see how much what else you can do.
Okay. Where's my?
Yeah, it's trying to come around my back.
Ah.
That was lucky on my part. Yeah, see, like I'm right in the middle here, so I'm kind of getting attacked from all sides.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well that's going.
Another strategy you can do, see how you have your frigate, your ships are really, really far away. You can bring your ships closer into the frigate so that you have less of a chance of hitting stuff.
All right. How do you do that?
Well, okay, well, if you click on your frigate, you can cancel the tractor beam, and then just take your other ships and move them closer to the frigate and then reactivate the tractor beam.
Okay.
Now, see, now you have a much smaller radius. So now if you're trying to go through asteroids, you have a much greater chance of not hitting anything.
No, stop.
So you can remove any individual ship.
Oh, crap.
Oh, a little too far. Oh, you got rid of all my headships.
Okay. Yep. See. Trying to take out green right now. Let's see.
Yeah, he's almost dead, eh?
Come on.
Another cool thing with that, yeah, there you go, you just did it. You're able to split all the torpedo ships into 4.
Oh wait, I just thought I want to just use the frigate here.
Yeah, frigate's really good with the torpedo ships. Another thing with the frigate with the Sublime Gate, since you're able to clone all your units, it's able to heal them. So when you lose health from cloning, you just heal it right back up with the frigate, and it's like, you know, nice and clean, full health. But what you could do is, since green is almost dead, try and fling some of those asteroids at him. Do quite a bit of damage.
Let's see. Come on. Come on.
That one's a big one. It's going to slow down too much. Try and hit one of the smaller ones.
Alright, let's see. Stop. Boom. Now, the damage that you take from ramming, is that based on, like, the ship, speed, anything like that? Oh.
Yeah, it is aiming, yeah. So you hit it a little bit too far on the right, so it went flung to the left. Yeah. It involves some skill. But it's definitely worth the effort, because like using the asteroids does a ton of damage, but of course it's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't forget, try and send some henships to that center planet.
Okay.
Good shot.
Okay, you know what? Let's see.
missing everything. They're gonna come help you. Oh, I'm just out of range. I'll get him. I don't.
Yep. Where's my hen ship? There it is.
Yeah, try see now. Remember about the aiming of the on the asteroids. Try and hit the top of that asteroid. It should go downwards.
Come on. Go, go. Oh!
Dodged. Oh, you can try it again with that small one. You can't move now. That cooldown.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
All right. Well, there you go. You could just use that guy. Oh.
Their health is so low.
Yeah.
Alright. Where's my other ship? Did it die? Yeah, it did. Yes, got him.
All right. Let's go kill Yan now.
Alright. Hen ship, hen ship.
Do you have any destroyers? We could try and blast them with a snipe.
Yeah, there should be some around here.
Yeah, you just move the one on top. Yeah. Oh, he's coming for you.
Oh.
Ram him into the planet. Alright, there you go.
Okay.
And now, like what I was saying before about going around planets, I'm going to try and do something really risky now. Let me just try and get rid of this guy. Ah. Alright.
Okay. He's colonizing that.
Now, if you check out the middle, I'm going to try and do something super risky on the near the middle planet.
Okay.
Hopefully I don't hit your ship. There you go. There you go, just outside. So now I'm on the other side. No harm. That's with the bigger planets. It's a lot riskier to do that, but it can work in your favor.
All right, let's see how we doing. Someone trying to take my planet up there.
We could stop him.
Okay, there's my frigate. Oh.
Oh, that asteroid went through the wormhole. Oh no, it hit my hen ship. Oh no, I'm almost dead. I didn't realize Vince spawned behind me. Okay, where am I gonna go?
Stop, 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 stop. Okay, there's my ship. Alright, where is, okay, there's his.
Okay, let's try and snipe him.
Okay. It's almost charged. There we go.
Snipe.
Boom.
Oh,
Oh, he's not dead. I got him. Oh!
Oh! Ramming speed.
You don't have it.
Come
Almost
on.
got him. Almost got him. Boom.
Boom.
There you go.
Woo. Good game. Oh, I wish I got that asteroid to hit though. The smaller ones. One thing about the smaller ones, because it has such a smaller width to them, if you just hit like any side, it shoots off in a wild direction.
Tiny asteroids. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I still love. I'm glad we got that footage of the asteroid. You moving the flagship just as the asteroid's about to hit. That was an action shot right there. Okay.
So as you can see, I mean, you played one game with the Sublime Gate, a multiplayer, and if you look at that, you have 1,000. Like you need 1,000 points of metamatter like to harvest, and you're already 24% done. So you play like 4 good matches with the Sublime Gate, and you already have your achievement. It looks like a grind, but it's really you just play the game, you get achievements. It's very simple.
Yeah, and one thing I want to touch on before we begin to wrap things up. How did you guys settle on like the balance of the 4 different factions? Now, obviously, each faction shares the same units, but as we've seen, they have vastly different special abilities. What was sort of like the design process of how you came up with what ships would do what, etc., etc.?
Actually, it's a bit like chess. In chess, you have 8 different pieces, I think. We have 8 different pieces anyways. So every faction has the same kind of ships to start with, like patrol ships, torpedo ships, corvettes, etc. So they all play the same role in a combat. So this way you're not lost if you are used to play a Greater Britain, for example, and then you have to play the Sublime Gate. You're not completely lost because for example, your frigate will have the same role. The role of the frigate is to tow ship over long distances. So all the basic features of every class of ships are shared in all the factions. But then every faction has their special ability for each of their ship. So this makes them completely different. As you've seen, the destroyer for the Sublime Gate has a huge firepower and can shoot over a very long distance. That's the way you just killed me in the previous game. You couldn't do that with the Sacred Alliance, but Sacred Alliance, as you said also in the previous game, it's cool because you could use your patrol ship to teleport through planets. So this way, it guarantees that there's a very good sense of balance, and you're never lost when you change from one empire to another. But at the same time, they all feel very different, and if you want to win, you have to understand how to use their special abilities to their advantage. So we really started like if it was a game of chess with 8 classes that would be the same, and it makes sense too because those factions are not aliens like we see in a lot of space game. If we have aliens, of course the categories of ships are different, but those guys they are Spanish, German, or English, or Turks, or French. So they all had the same sea ships to start with. Like they are all the categories of ships are inspired from the real ships that they had in the 16th century. So basically that's why we came up with this design.
Yeah.
Cool.
So basically, we just really wanted it to be like all the factions feel different when you're playing them, but at the same time, you know how to use each of them. Basically, like you know how to use them just because the units. They all have frigates. They all have corvettes.
A torpedo ship is always good to defend your flagship when it's attacked, and always has a torpedo.
Yeah.
But the English one, the Greater British one, has the stealth ability, while the Sacred Alliance one can just go back in time, for example.
Yeah.
So that's the way it works.
And we saw in the first game, one of the ships had like that, the blow the other ships away ability too.
Yeah, exactly. The frigate of the Celestial Empire is able to throw wind and like push everything. You can even use that with asteroids. So in one of the story campaigns, actually, one of the main features of it is there's a big asteroid field in it, and you have to use that to your advantage with the frigates to try and kill flagships and other ships.
So with a perfectly placed, a well-placed Celestial Empire frigate using the essence of wind power, you can kill a flagship with just one well-aimed blow. If you just blow the whole asteroid field into a flagship, it will be destroyed instantly with just one ship.
That's where like positioning comes into play too. You never want to be too close to danger, but at the same time, being closer to action means you can deploy your ships a lot closer. So it's like, you know, a risk reward. There's a lot of strategy that goes into it.
Okay.
And the best way to learn about it is to play in multiplayer skirmishes.
Yeah.
Because when people do you nasty stuff, then you learn faster.
Yeah.
If you just play the campaign, of course you can learn, but we see a lot of people playing the game in single player campaign, and they play it like a standard RTS. For example, they keep their ships close to each other at laser range, and they wait for their ship to kill the other ship with its laser, which is not something you would do usually in conflicts. Usually in conflicts you ram into another ship, and you try to ram it in a way so that it will go into an asteroid or go into a planet or a nebulae or something. Yeah. You always use the environment to your advantage. Never wait for your laser to finish the job, or very rarely.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You always want to use that environment.
Or your special abilities like the torpedo.
Or your special abilities.
Yeah.
But as much damage as a torpedo does, it does more if you actually flick an asteroid onto a ship.
Yeah. Or you can use moons to your advantage. A lot of time, someone can win the game by just, you know, pushing that, because moons have the same effect for huge flagship than they have for patrol ships. So if you have the chance to just throw a small torpedo on a flagship, and your flagship just moved like 2 millimeters on the screen,
onto a moon, and
then it rebounds on the moon, and then, you know, the flagship will go in a very fast way, and can ram into something, and you can win the game by doing that.
Again, with positioning, don't put your flagship near moons.
All right. I guess my final question, at least for this video with you guys, as we've said earlier, Conflicks, you guys are aiming for 1 to 2 months of early access, and the game will be officially released. Do you have any long-term plans at the moment for the game, as in more achievements, more ships, or is that still too much up in the air at the moment?
Well, yeah, I mean, when we invented the game, we thought that we could have a lot more different empires. Now we have only 4, but you know, we could make Russia. We could even make the Eskimos, the Canadians, if we want. We can make the Americans, you know, later on, because the time will continue. So we could add a lot of other empires, and the story will continue. So right now, of course, we don't know. It will depend on the success of the game. But of course, the game is made so that we can add lots of stuff. Yeah.
Cool. All right. I think with that, we're going to wrap things up. Guys, it's been a real pleasure playing with you today. Hopefully, we can do this again real soon.
Yeah, for sure. One little tidbit, though. One other thing that we were thinking of adding to is a level editor, and we think a lot of people would really enjoy that.
Yeah, creating crazy levels.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I think with that, if you guys wouldn't mind hanging on Skype for like 1 minute, we're going to wrap up the video for those of you watching this live or recorded. Either way, thanks so much for tuning in. And for everyone watching, please check out game-wisdom.com for posts and podcasts relating to game design and the industry, as well as our ongoing Patreon campaign to secure some much-needed monthly funding to keep everything running. You can find me on Patreon under Josh Spicer or Game Wisdom, and any donations would be greatly appreciated. And for the YouTube crowd watching this right now, please check out the Twitch stream that is under GW Bicer nightly at 10 Eastern. That's when I do the majority of my streams. Streams like this, when we have developers on, these are special events which I will, of course, publicize along social channels, and hopefully we'll be able to do a lot more of these in the coming weeks. So, before we get going, I'd like to again thank Adam, Vincent, and Jan for coming on. It's been great playing with you guys. It definitely is a lot of fun playing Conflicts multiplayer. As you said, you can see a lot of the more nastier strategies you can use, and then, get inflicted on, then you can turn that around on your next game. So, I do wish you guys the best of luck with Conflicts, and I hope it does well enough so we can see a lot more of the even crazier ideas you guys have planned.
Thanks. It was a pleasure, and thanks for having us.
Yep. All right. So like I said, just hang on for like 2 minutes. And for those of you watching, thanks again for tuning in, and I will catch you next time.